Welcome back to the Spit Out. I'm Jefferson. Alongside me, as always, the one with all the holes in his game, Swiss Cheese, and we're the disc golf world. First, we have to address two mess ups in yesterday's video.
We dropped the ball.
Yeah, we dropped the ball on that one, guys. I said that it was Am Worlds. The past weekend, it was USADGC. You said Silvia didn't have an elite series, and she actually has two.
She has actually two. Yeah.
This is the first time she beat Kristen, though. Some would argue that's a real DGPT win.
I followed. I wrote it late, and I folled. Kristen
She made a
Lott's
post, right?
Yeah, Kristen Lott made a post.
Basically, you're throwing her straight under the bus.
And it was like one of those. You know how I have to watch Instagram for hours. And I was just screenshotting, and it was one of the things that I screenshot for something to use later, and I was like, oh, and it stuck in my head, so I was like, boop, 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 typed it out. Yeah. Didn't even look, and then I heard it and I thought of it. I was like, oh man, wow, that was really off. Yeah, that was like one of those man, that was.
We'll
bad.
see how many point out in the comments.
Oh, now hopefully a lot.
Well, yeah, now we're
I dropped the
up
ball.
to it. Yeah, we messed up. It happens.
I'll own it. Yeah,
Now
I'll make fun of
check.
it later too. I don't care.
Before we jump into the Ale Open, first, if you really want to know the recap, just watch yesterday's video. It's gonna be so much better than a bunch of rambling. Who knows? Sometimes we don't even talk about the actual recap. Last week we didn't even talk about the FPO.
We forgot.
Our apologies.
Yeah, we dropped the ball.
I don't even think we talked about really MPO too much. Either the winner.
I kind of blacked out.
Yeah,
I kind of
it's the
blacked
spit
out
out.
on
We
it.
just talk about what we want to hear.
Yep.
But before we get into that, a little bit of just our disc golf life kind of type of thing, because I wanted to know from you guys, as also Swiss, have you ever heard of the 51 Club?
No.
Okay. This is also a very regional thing, I assume, because the only reason I ever learned about it or joined the club was Collegiate Nationals. I think it was some Southern team told us about the 51 Club. Basically what that is if you're playing on a card with other people who are part of the 51 Club, you ace it, they give you $5, you hit metal, they gave you $1. That is it.
That's it.
That is the game.
Is there like a handshake?
I wish.
Yeah,
But I just want to know how many people knew about this, because I also don't know if it's like an unspoken thing where you're not supposed to just go out on the internet and tell everyone. Like it's more of like
you just fucking did it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think that's stupid.
So like, what
and
do?
I'm
You
going to.
hit metal and you just ask for money and like muscle anybody who's not in the club?
I totally forgot about it, but I was playing today, first hole chains, and then he handed me $1, and it's like, oh. Well, he actually said he didn't have $1. He's going to owe me one. But he acknowledged he's going to give me $1.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I totally forgot that thing even existed. Because even the day prior, I hit chains out with you guys, and no one even acknowledged, right?
Yeah.
Just to show, like, our area, not a thing. Want to know if you guys knew about it. I'm just trying to learn
Man, we
more
missed
about
out on a lot of the like kind of cool cultural things.
I
It's
saw
kinda
Dumpster Fire put out a post where he was talking about some local match play event. I just wanted to be like, yo, there's so much cool regional stuff that you only know if you're from the region. Like the Northeast has their super in-depth team battle where I think it's the coolest thing in disc golf. Gets no attention. And I'm sure there's plenty of stuff everywhere. Every region you go, every little area, there's like some super complex system that's been built upon years.
Dude, remember Austin? Like they had like club battles and everyone's like, yeah, it's super competitive.
And
everyone
it
hates
sucks.
each
We
other.
got none of that. And it's like, dang, I just want to be a part of something where I saw like the history to it and all that. And I think that there is this unexplored, like underground scene of disc golf that one day I think someone will like dive deep and like tell these stories. Ale Open, completely on the other side of the spectrum, I would say. This is more what I think is like taking like the pretty side of like you look at these courses, and I honestly don't know how people even this weekend were saying it was boring. I don't know if you saw a lot of that, but I saw a lot of complaining of it. And to me, I was watching the thing and just mind blown because it was like, how am I not on this course right now? How am I not playing this?
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
You could tell they've like put work into it. They've put money into it. It's aesthetically beautiful.
Well, this is where OTB Europe's going to be too. So it's going to be a pub.
Yeah, dude, this place is going to be bananas, and like it's already the number 2 in the world, I think, on UDisc.
Yeah,
and so like it's already up there, and it's just going to be great. And I think the more that like these courses get played out on this tour, and the more exposure, it's going to set the standard. And like it already kind of happened last year. We heard it all from after the European swing. It's more this, it's more that. It has this.
It's professional.
Yeah,
That's like
professional
the
was
biggest
the
word
term.
we
Yeah,
hear.
Yes, it's stuff like that where it's just cool.
It almost feels like a disservice having it in this split section because you're forcing a majority of Americans aren't even questioning going over. You got Ricky, Ezra, Matt Bell. I know Eli Swanson's over there. Like, there's not a whole lot of American talent. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they're playing these dope courses where I think everywhere I look on social media, it's European disc golf is taking over this. These courses are better than all of the American, and we're not seeing it displayed. I don't know if that's something that's going to get worked out eventually, and we're going to see a better, not so back and forth, or if that's just how we're going to have to live.
I think it's going to be how we live for a little bit. But if the European Tour can start getting larger prize pool, it might not take long.
Do you think it's like a separate entity then? Or is it still going to try to be like, hey, this is Disc Golf Pro Tour event caliber. If you can make it there, you can make it there. Or is it going to be a DGPT Europe standalone tour?
Those are always the rumor, but I think there'll always be a spot for like a dual tour.
But does it not make more sense? And again, maybe this is just impossible to like run like 4 straight European events. Like, why do we have this split and choice?
Yeah, no, it should definitely. Well, part of the reason you also have to like allow the travel for that tour too a little bit, like no differently than they have bye weeks. So it's kind of like that, but it's also like I think you have right now, because of the way the prize pools are and the way the tour actually lays out, because you're going out west, and as far as American players, they're on the run, like, you know what I mean, on the road. So they have to make their way back out east somehow. So like you kind of, there's always going to be that like little bit of split, or there's always going to run. Now, if the prize pool gets larger, you're able to make it a lot more like, okay, now I'm gone for a month. It's going to get there. And I don't think it'll take that long. I think sponsorship dollars are already there. I think it's already interesting. It has to be intriguing if you're a pro trying to garner as much views and eyes. You have to eye that market and what it could do for your popularity. And the disc golf and the product is exceptional. It does a great job of, you see so many angles coming off the tee and off of shots. Does a great job of also having the need for angle control on the ground too.
I think European courses do a great job of the elevated, using the natural elevation of hills. We saw it even to come in and play hole 9. I know this is like the pictured nightmare scenario, but it happened and it created some drama and it worked out perfectly. And you think you could see other players where mentally it comes into play where you know you're coming at it level, missing it now coming a 30, 40 footer where at another time it's just a natural, okay, easy comebacker.
And I'm a sucker for like open into woods, like finishing into woods, and they had that like throughout. Like, man, it's a great tournament. It's a great event, and it's only going to grow in popularity. I think it's already won over plenty of every pro that's been there. It says it's one of the best. I think Eagle has said it's the best course that he's been to. And you're going to add these, and like they're bangers, man. Kona Piche Day. You got Krokol right after this, number 1. Like it's.
Then you're going to go into the beast. Then you're going to go into monster. And you just keep saying these banger courses. And we know plenty also that aren't being played this year. And we've seen it in the past. And that begs the question. I've seen it all over social media. And this might just be the European people just flexing a bit. Is European disc golf taking over the U.S.? Do they do it better?
Yes. In a lot of aspects, it's not shameful to say yes. I think the game is fresher over there. I think they've... Obviously, like the exposure to the citizens is different. Like, you know what I mean? It's not going up against like the NBA's
I saw it was also pointed out that disc golf courses may be a lot closer to very populated places.
Yes.
Where in the U.S., they are in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to get people in these premier places.
I think there's like a little bit of a cultural thing. So like it kind of lines up. Like these guys are already getting like car sponsorships and like, dealerships and like, look at what Lot's doing with her apparel line. Like, there's so many like expansions that just aren't here in the U.S. Like, so it's got to be intriguing to kind of possibly be part of that.
No, you know what needs to come back? Maybe we need to capitalize on the Disc Golf World Tour. Let's just go everywhere, man. Let's bring it back.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Get some like international sponsorships. Get them to put up a bunch of money. Maybe do it once a month. You have a big blowout event. You try to make them more major, like something where I don't know if this is a separate entity that has to come and put banger money up there, or if this is something the DGPT can have a hand in. But it would be sick to go to these just one course, like go to a country for this one banger, then the next one go to another banger.
Do it kind of like the F1 like race car, like where they're going into like cities, like you know what I mean, doing this and going there and just making it even larger.
It's a spectacle. It's an event.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can play in like Estonia Palace grounds, and you can like, you know what I mean?
It's almost like what Go Throw is doing, except you have the appeal of, hey, it's the world too. You have a better name to be like, oh, it's the what? It's the. I mean, we already did it in the past. Like, it was a thing with UC, and I think it was. I'm gonna get shit on and say it was successful, even though I'm sure it stopped doing because of the money situation. However, on paper, I thought the idea was great, and a fucking 17-year-old me was hooked on that.
Yeah, man.
And it was a shame that it stopped happening.
It is. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like now you got like the Macbeth like courses are set up in some of these places where it's like cool, go there and just expand on it. Like what, you know what I mean? Or just have the guys ace running it. Like who cares? Like like I think it would be I think it would be pretty wild. I think it could be cool. That is a cool concept. You'd have to get like a lot of people behind.
Go Throw might not be too far off. They have connections with the Puerto Rico course. Yes. They have one in Mexico. They have pretty good ups with Ale. I'm sure anyone like Croco will be dope.
New Zealand too.
New Zealand, hey, you guys listening? Write this down. This is a dope idea.
Yeah, you guys are.
I'm so on board for that.
You gotta be able to like scrounge up like a Canadian, right? Like you should be able to get a spot up on like
the Canadian Championship, of course. I'm sure would be down to do something like that.
And then like now you're just like looking at like a South American and like an African country, and like.
We can do some things. Bro. We can do some throwing in things.
Yeah.
6 events, one every other month or something like that.
That would be pretty dope. That would be pretty dope.
Someone with money, hit us up, guys. We could try. We could try at least.
Yeah.
We could do something different, exciting.
Yeah.
So the other thing though that I brought up in yesterday's video, just because it's something that I've been thinking, and I wasn't trying to make a big deal about it. I really wasn't. It was just more of a content creator's perspective on something, and I'm not understanding because I wouldn't do it in such a way. So right now, the European events are being put on the MDG YouTube channel, which does make sense because they're the ones putting the effort in and all of that. However, I feel like if you're being contracted, that it's okay to put it in another place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if the DGPT was then paying you under some sort of contract, that it could be like, hey, we're going to put it under, I would say, Jomez, because when you even look at the viewership, it's almost 50% less. And that's not the case on the
MGDs is 50%.
Yeah, like it seems like even last week the Kona Peach Day was like 80K, and then you look at
I know
like
Kona
the Northwest
Peach
is like
Day
160. Yeah, and then this past one's at like 64K right now. And then you look at back at like a lot of the Jomez first rounds are usually sitting at like 150 to 160K. And you even look at the first round live coverage, and it gets better views, I'm sure, because it's in the morning. People are putting it on, but the attention isn't. There is people that want to watch it, clearly, it seems like. But then you put it on MDG's channel where it's more hidden. They have 50K subscribers where Jomez is almost 500,000.
Yeah, you got to know the name to kind of find it.
And they don't even have the pull of, a lot of times you see coverage doing better when they have Gannon, AB, Macbeth, those in the title, and you have just pretty much Ricky and Nicolas.
That's a very good point.
And I'm still under like the perspective of, and again, maybe it's just my content creator mindset of like, we're trying to do the best to put in front of the most amount of eyes. And it seems like that's being done very poorly. And it's unfortunate that it feels like this is a constant conversation when it comes to social media and that internet perspective.
Do you feel like it's kind of like...
companies.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
but like, do you feel like it's kind of like the early days of disc golf where like they are young Jomez over there? And
I think they are. And I think that's how they being described, and that's what they do. The events that are not DGPT events totally should be on their channel doing it. I'm just saying, if this is supposed to be a DGPT event, and we're already having conversations from talking heads talking down events of these might not necessarily be on the same caliber because of the player pool, because of the prize, whatever. And now you're going to add, hey, they don't even try to get the most amount of eyes on them. Like or you're taking it less serious. Is how maybe I'm over inflating that, but that's just how I see it. Because to my opinion, is like it's very clear. Like you're gonna post it here, it's not gonna get nearly as many views as the channel that is like 10x more so.
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's a good point.
Maybe it's a nothing burger, but like I said, this is something that like we're day to day I'm thinking.
And we are also like, man, let's be real. We are also talking. This is the first year of the unification of the tour, right? Like,
is it? Oh, maybe I'm shitting on too much then.
Yeah, like this. So
I totally forgot that.
This is the very first year of a unified European DGPT European tour. So like, it's gonna get there. Like, I think they're going to acquire or manipulate or make it more difficult for MGD in the future.
Low key, that was kind of what I was trying to set up. Is the Jomez that's doing its own thing, that they had to get acquired because then the DGPT could monetize it, I'm sure, and that is what the angle I hope MDG is either playing the long game for,
Yeah, man,
or they
if
should
I'm,
start pressing like, hey, you still want us to work? Like,
Yeah.
we can take a check.
Yeah, if I'm them, like I know this might be like ahead of their schedule just as far as like their plan, but like I'm taking cues from Jomez. I'm trying to get hosts. I'm trying to get, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna try to engage on that front and see what you can pull and like make it enticing and make yourself like make it to where you're not disposable. You know what I mean? And it may be so early in the game that they can, and like it'll be easier to do. But yeah, I think it's also difficult for like the DGPT because you got to have a crew, especially like you were talking about, like split spots and split tours. You got to have your team in the States, and like either you have to acquire a second team or you're hiring a second team. That's it. Like so, but it is kind of interesting to like not have some type of arrangement where like, hey, we're gonna release this on Jomez. You can do it after this time, you know, but we're going to pay you for the coverage. We're going to pay you for the film. Like, you'd think that would be like an easy dunk.
I would think so. I would say like the players rather just get paid rather than, I don't think you're going to make crazy money off the ad revenue. Like you should be getting paid more so from the actual work you do than the view count. And I think there's still plenty of things you can do to make content with what you had, as long as that's available. I don't know if the DGPT would have a problem with you double dipping, which I feel like they shouldn't if you're trying to have them be successful. Again, setting up
if you're trying to
be
really,
good.
Yeah, if you're really trying to grow the sport in Europe, like why would you
this
not?
is like the perfect way to do it.
Some type of an exposure on it for sure. Even if it is going on Jomez, who cares? Like,
exactly.
That's
the perspective that I was like always was on.
Yeah, that I think like for like a lot of people, it's weird to like understand like the way we view stuff at times.
Yeah,
is like
to me, it's simple as like you can either have everything under your umbrella in one place, or you spread it out everywhere for people to find.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense to me.
No,
it should be under one hub.
We'll just never get the full lay of like the viewership and like where the demographics would be insane. Because like also like if you're like because you could like if you saw those demographics, then you could kind of understand why some of these decisions are made. Like if the bulk of your product is on the East Coast and that's where like the bulk of this is being consumed, then yeah, I get the finish of the year. I get this. I get that. Like I can understand that process. But then, like, that's what makes the European and the West Coast swing and, like, all these different, like, times to start. Like, it really makes things interesting because, like, you're talking, like, the later now with the West Coast and now you're also getting up and there's rounds all of a sudden. And you're like, so it's kind of neat. That's what I kind of don't mind about it. Like, that's what I do enjoy a little bit about it. Certainly are able to get more disc golf in. That's for sure.
Which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Nicholas Ansela taking down his third DGPT event of the year. First to do it. He's still in like fifth place in the standings. That's how it works. I mean, he had a bad finish, I think, in the beginning of the year. Not as consistent, but still. 3 wins.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And I don't really think he played his best disc golf this over
The other
weekend.
interesting thing that he mentioned, too, all his wins this year come from behind.
That's a good point.
He's a good final round disc golfer. What you need in majors, some in your home country.
You're right, and even like past, he's not. You're right.
The times where they become more stressful and like the pressure's on, he strives, which is a very good thing, a very good attribute for a champion.
Yes,
and he's so close to majors all the time. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, he's gonna be the back-to-back major stretch over in a place where he feels more comfortable.
No, man, 3 wins on a year is. You're getting, if he can pull another or a 5, you're talking a great season in modern disc golf right now. Like, look at like, how many AB get? He got 3 last year, right?
4.
He got 4? Okay. All right. I thought, which one's, okay, I missed one. I'll probably,
you're making me name them. It's like
Jonesboro,
Texas State.
I don't count Jonesboro.
You got to count it.
I know, but whatever.
Supreme.
Yeah, okay. No, yeah. So if he can get 4, like everyone was talking about how big. Like it's also that's what's kind of weird. Like I understand like this latest one was like Europe and it has. I guess. Yeah, I guess there's some like stigma about it, but whatever. That's stupid. Like I'm trying not to acknowledge that, but you still have back-to-back wins prior to that. You know what I mean? He's still like. He's an impressive track record, man, and like he's only gonna get better. Like
still super young.
Yes, I think. Yeah, he's quite the talent. He's controlled off the tee, and he's got a great putting stroke. And like, yeah, he's gonna be around. He's gonna be around at like most major tournaments. Like no different than like we view Gannon. Like the more days, his consistency plays out over more days.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be no different. He's got to be like, man, right now, like if you're setting odds, let's go over this. If you're setting odds to win Worlds, give me your layout. Maybe not necessarily, but like who's your favorite? Obviously, you're going to have probably Gannon at the top of the betting line.
Probably Gannon, AB on the top. It's so hard to still say, not question Macbeth. There's only one person that's one of more recent than Macbeth. I think people forget about that.
Are you would Ansela have better odds to win over Ricky right now?
Yes.
Okay.
How is that controversial?
To some, it might.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 wins.
What about Isaac? Who has better chances?
Isaac.
Okay. Just
Isaac's
track
the
record.
major machine, man. He's
Yeah,
the
he is
last
the
disc
major
golf
machine.
cowboy.
Yeah.
Worked it in.
Well,
That's a dope video. If you guys haven't seen that video,
Worked
check it out. Check it out.
in. Nice cut.
After seeing what Silva did this past weekend, how do you feel her chances for Worlds or even competing for the rest of the season are going to look?
Like there was a bit of confidence in there. All right, let's be real. Like as great as confidence and as great as like she closed the door at times when she had not done in the past against Kristen, that makes it remarkable. She knows she was very fortunate on the island green. She like if you saw her face, she almost looked like she was about to like get emotional, like she was grabbing her head because she knows she got away with one, and then it was parked bullseye. So you like picked up like a very fortunate 3-stroke swing there. But like yes, she delivering on the putts. I think the commentary was great. Like in calm weather, Silva is up there as one of the top 3 players in the world. If you have no wind conditions, and especially on European courses, I think her game is suited very well. The moment you get weather and conditions like that, then things kind of come a little bit of a ride.
Do you worry at all about when we go into Worlds or even 4-round events, then you add extra?
I would still be apprehensive about the emotions of Silva right now in a Worlds event. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's fair to say about everyone apart from maybe Kristen and Missy. I think any other FPO talent is going to be a nerve wrack.
Right now, how do you feel? Is it going to be a walk-in for Kristen, or is it going to be a competitive battle to the 5th day?
So the interesting thing is with Tampere and the Beast, like I said, Silva on Tampere, it could be great. Like, I think she could get a lot of strokes. I could see Missy doing well there, gaining strokes. But then, like, when I think of Lot on the Beast, Evelina on the Beast, like, I just see them like, all right, you're going to get racks and racks of like you're gonna get strokes.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it's crazy. We haven't seen like Evelina in a minute, right?
Dude, she's been golfing and like being bridesmaids, bro. She's like, it's been a while. I
almost like to the point I forgot about her, even when I was thinking about who's going to be in contention for things, and she's the reigning world champion.
And I don't know if she's going. Is she at Preserve? I'm not sure.
Why come to Preserve if we're going to go to Europe?
I think there's a few going. Like,
just for Preserve?
I think so. I think,
shit.
Yeah.
The after party's that cool.
Yeah.
Hutchville, baby.
I think there's like, I kind of want to, man, part of me wanted to say Kristen was coming back for Preserve.
Dude, okay, now I have to look it up because that
Maybe I'm not lying.
There's going to be a big rubber duck that could be a pull.
The rubber duck plays.
I'm going to be by it.
The rubber duck plays.
I'm going to be
right.
I want to get some views. Yeah, come on.
We
get some
touch.
Upcoming events. Man, she is going to go be at Preserve. Is that now wild?
That is a little wild. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
No, I'm not debating that, but yeah.
Kristen, Holland, Missy, Owen, Silva, Cat, Haley's gonna be there. Okay.
Ooh, that makes sense. It all makes sense now. You got USW, like they have to.
Oh,
they have to come
you're
back.
right.
Yeah,
that does make sense then. Yeah. I'm glad you put that together so we didn't get shit on the comments. That was smart.
Yeah, after our fucking big old intro.
Be there too,
yeah. So yeah, it makes sense. You're gonna get that one and then go US. Are you interested about the Simon
redesigns?
Yeah.
Because the Preserve is one of the longest DGPT events that we've gone to because it is so close. So we've almost seen it. Not the year of COVID. Well, damn, we did see it the year of COVID because we went and played it. So yeah, we've seen it every single year, and I will be interested because I'm a more proponent on the way Simon speaks about course design and his philosophy behind it.
Oh, like no OB?
No OB, let it happen. And I just think that his design, I remember he made the video, but I want to see him in person before I really like have opinions on everything. But I think that I'm going to be a fan. I do. Maybe I'm just a Simon bootlicker. That might be possible too.
Yeah. I wouldn't put that far off.
No, yeah, I'm sure.
No, I think it'll be interesting to see what he can pull together. I think there is some you can get tricky on that course. There's plenty of stuff to like move. There's plenty of stuff to like work in. There's plenty of holes. Like, so yeah, I think should be interesting. I think it'll be great. And they got new baskets, right?
They have RPM? No, that's Blue
No,
Ribbon.
MVP.
Yeah, I don't know if they have that. Yeah,
I think they got MVP.
Cool.
Makes sense because they're the sponsor.
Is it?
Right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so like I think they got MVP.
No, yeah, because Simon Line's the sponsor. But yeah, that's
pretty
interesting.
cool.
Yeah, it is. Imagine him, man.
10-10 and Simon Lyons.
That is pretty cool. I wanted to bring up because I don't know if you saw on Reddit, but this was a pretty like lengthy post on the Upshot, and I know I want to bring it up because I would say they're the number one podcast that we really have been and do listen to on a weekly basis. I might be speaking for you, but
The Upshot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most informed podcasts like out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
So that's been a staple. And it was, I don't know if I shared the opinion of the post, but it was basically talking about Josh Mansfield. I keep messing that up. Sorry. But him not contributing or not being up to par of what he has been. And I guess I just never saw that. And maybe because, again, peel behind the content creator side. And one of the points was creating like diverse, more it was mentioned as like Stephen A type takes. And I think that just comes with content a bit, because if him and Charlie just agreed, as if we would just agree on everything, and like it's kind of hard because a lot of the times we do agree on so many things. It's not entertaining to just say something and be like, "Oh, yep, agree, move on." And that's where like even our videos where we just create questions and look at things in a different perspective of maybe you don't believe it 1,000%, but you can see why someone would believe or talk about it, and then you can create defenses on why your own opinion. It's not just one echo chamber of ideas. We're trying to create a diverse way of thinking, and I think that's more what he does rather than not paying attention and just throwing out shitty takes.
No, and I think it's like at times his takes are like supported by like statistics. Like that's why I think they're some of the most informed, because they'll be like, "Hey, they're trending this." They'll do like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of an interesting take.
I know they didn't like the jokes too, but hey, man, we make shitty jokes too, man. Like, I get it. Like, get over it. I know, Not your cup of tea.
Yeah,
man, disco
we can't all be winners, man. Like, sometimes you throw it and sticks. Sometimes it doesn't. It happens.
You got to keep on swinging.
Yeah, man. So, no, I don't mind him. I think Charlie is one of the like best like controllers of a podcast. Also, I think he does a great job on commentary. And those guys have been around like the game for
a minute, bro.
Yeah,
I know it wasn't always
like,
Josh, because before it was Jamie Thomas. So I don't know exactly when he took over the role, but you know they've been around since the beginning of the game.
Yeah, man, and they're doing ultimate stuff. They're doing
Well, I actually just checked the ultimate stuff. How much subscribers do you think their ultimate channel has?
I would have no idea.
Okay, for perspective, disc golf 6K.
Okay,
just throw out a wild number that you think. Ultimate,
man. Part of the way you're phrasing it, I think it's got to be more.
Well, obviously that's the setup, but just
20.
Yeah, over 100.
Holy shit!
Right? I didn't know Ultimate it was that much bigger of a deal.
Bro, we're in the wrong. We're in the wrong like commentary, man. We gotta expand the like.
We would not survive in that. Brody just went on his tour life where he was discussing how at the end of every Ultimate tournament that awarded alongside the MVP, like the MVP will be awarded, and then the next is the person who gets the most spirit points, because at every event they have to rate each team 1 to 10 on how much spirit they have. And Brody's like, the year we won, we lost 0, last place in spirit. Well, yeah, dude, because who cares about that? We make one joke and get canceled in that sport.
We probably would. You're kind of right.
I feel like they have like the complete opposite.
I had a joke right there about Subarus and shit. Like I was like, should I say it? Like I don't want to piss off the Ultimate fans, but yeah, like it is what it is.
The last thing I want to bring up on this podcast, because it's basically a talking point every single year there's a U.S. event. The USADGC.
I already know where you're going. Dude, you don't even have to like everybody, damn near 90%. Just as soon as you started, it was like, oh, he's gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it because every year we have to hear someone bitching because the 999 99 rated person who plays 95% MPO events decides to play the 3 where they play USADGC and they play they play Am Worlds, and those are the only amateur events they play all year. Is that something good for the sport, bad for the sport? And I'm going to be firstly say it, and this might be an ignorant take. I don't care because it's the amateur side of the sport. Take the participation trophy. I don't care. That might be a mean take. I apologize.
No, I think like everybody needs to get over this. It's done. It's like it's over. With the amount of like now you are getting players who are signing sponsorships right out of this victory, right? So like it does make sense for them to try to get this victory if they have aspirations to be on the Pro Tour.
And they're not doing anything wrong, I should clarify. They are playing completely by the rules.
They're not accepting money. They're not like any of that. Like, and guess what? Like if you change it, they'll change also. They'll play in a different division. Like that's it. Like, so like it's you just got to get over it. It is what it is. And I think like the concept of like what an amateur is by like your definition is like, that's a variable. Like,
you're just trying to create more different divisions that make it so more defined.
Man, it's the great like sandbagger, like Moby Dick whale that everyone chases at every event, and like they'll do it all the time. Like I think that's like what everybody's just doing, and it's sad, and it's just no, man. Like I said, there's sponsorships attached, there's money involved. Your future, if you're any aspirations of being a future pro, it makes sense to take this path. Many of others have done it that are now currently pros. Like the groundwork's there. Mon just did it last year. He went, now he's on tour with a sponsorship. Like
it's a way to get out there because when it's very limited in the sport unless you're a social media person.
Sure, and I understand he's already sponsored by MVP. I get all that, but like there's dollar values, there's increases, there's upgrades to like team members and like getting a higher roster spot. Like all of that is huge. Like, and so, like this makes sense for James.
Yeah.
Like,
As I say, it's an easy way to win this and then go to the next year and be like, hey, maybe you're not getting paid from a sponsor, but you can easily go, hey, could you pay for the tournaments I'm entering? And then all of a sudden that's a big burden when you're going into like, hey, no matter what I cash is free money. Like, completely different mindset.
Absolutely. And
so, it's a stupid talking point that we're going to keep hearing because the best part about it is majority of the people complaining about it use the anonymous participation whatever thing on Facebook now. So you're hiding behind a wall just a bitch because you probably took like 80th place and you're like, oh my God, this guy shot 1024 and he's a pro. Where really it's like, dude, you take last place.
Man, the amateur event is also like really weird because you'll have like young kids versus like grown men. Like, so it's like just kind of like always weird to watch. Like it's kind of odd. Like, and it's also like, I don't know, at least maybe I'm different, but like I don't hold this like in high esteem as like other
people take it really serious. There's a degree of people that play events that it is their life. They take it as serious as the Pro Tour, and it's just I don't share the same perspective. I got you. To me, it's nothing. It's a participation
great win, man.
Trophy.
Great win.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm sure you guys talked about Twig.
Yeah,
you did it. Is there anything else you want to talk about that happened this week? I'm trying to think of anything. Nothing too big happened.
Nothing.
That's it, right? That's gonna wrap up this episode of the Spit Out. I love this because it goes in so many different directions at all times. It really is the Spit Out.
Also, guys, we are getting plans for Europe. If you got like any old cameras, anything that you're like possibly willing to sell, hit us up. Let us know. We might be interested. We're gonna try to go there and do as much content. So if you got something that you think sitting in a drawer or a cupboard that might help us, let us know.
Yeah, we'll see definitely if we use it. Also, our World's Fundraiser shirts with Happy with Par are officially out. So definitely, if you want to support in another way, super dope.
Great colors, man. They couldn't have selected a better color. Right?
It kind of goes with the World's logo and stuff too. Yeah. So definitely, if you want to support us extra, do it.
Isn't the Finland white, blue and white? Yeah, the flag, right? Okay, just checking.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that makes sense now.
Go big one up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay to the end. Check out Spotify. Give us a 5-star, I guess, whatever you feel. But I'm really hoping it's a 5-star. I'm on Spotify nowadays. I'm trying to pump them. I forgot to do that.
5-star too.
5-star. All right. See you next one.